Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. My name is Anna if you haven't been on my channel before, and today I want to talk about tips and tricks for a low spending year. Over the last weeks I've seen quite a lot of videos floating around about this topic, and I already have this mindset for quite some time that I try to keep my spending as low as possible, and I thought it would be the perfect time of the year to share those tips and tricks with you. So before we start off, the number one thing I would suggest is define your goals. Normally if you come to this point where you want to reduce your spend, there is a reason for that. I think it's really important to have a goal that you can work towards, otherwise you don't really know how you're progressing or if you're succeeding. And if it's purely just for changing your habits and reducing your day-to-day spend, I'd also think about what has triggered that. Like, what is the reason that you suddenly feel like you need to reduce your spend? Because it's really important to be able to define success and to be able to track your progress throughout the year. Earlier in January, I've actually done 2 videos on what I want to and what I don't want to buy in 2024. So if you're interested in that as well, then I'm going to link them down below in the description box. So once you defined your goals and thought about why you want to change your habits, the number one thing I would look into is advertisement and social media. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm working in paid advertisement for nearly 6 years now. So I'm across all of the sales. I know how all of the little tricks of the companies work, and I would highly recommend you to try to minimize advertisement as much as you can. I know it's not easy nowadays. You have ads everywhere popping up, but I find especially on social media, advertisement can be so aggressive and so powerful, and companies are just so good in convincing you that you need to buy their products from them. And even if you're someone who doesn't directly click on an ad and purchase for it, if it is a company that you actually quite like, there's quite a high chance that later on you do end up on their website or in their shop and you think you consciously went there because it's products that you really like, but actually you have been influenced by an ad a few weeks or days prior. And I was thinking of 2 things here. Turning off your personalized ads in your Google account. You can do that. You can go to your Google account and there's a section where you can turn off personalized ads. So if you're on YouTube, those ads are not personalized anymore. It is a bit annoying because you start to get really random ads that have nothing to do with you or they don't reflect your interests. But that's exactly the point. You don't want to see ads to trigger you to buy. So turn those ones off. And then on Instagram and Facebook, I find it much harder to actually skip personalized ads. So instead I would say set yourself a timer of, let's say, an hour a day where you're allowed to use the app, and after that hour you switch it off. Obviously it is a bit annoying that you limit yourself on social media, although it probably is a good thing as well to not spend so much time on your phone, but it also just reduces the time of you being exposed to ads. And staying with social media, I would say on top of that, also either unfollow or mute people or content creators that influence you to buy things. And sometimes they don't necessarily tell you to buy things, but just by wearing the coolest and newest things and they tag all of the brands and they have a fancy little 20% discount code, kind of triggers you that you want to buy it as well. So you automatically fall into this trap of you want to purchase things. And I'm not just talking about clothes. I know there's like much more out there. It doesn't really matter what category they fall in. There are influencers for literally every interest, and they will try to sell you things with the affiliate links and the discount codes, because obviously that's how they earn their money. But on the other hand, there's so many great content creators out there that share the exact opposite of how do you best save your money. And I'm not talking about this weird dodgy people that show you how to best invest your money into stocks. I'm not talking about these ones. I'm more talking about people that live a more minimal lifestyle and that create content about reducing and simplifying, and that don't try to push things onto you. Rather follow people like them that inspire you and motivate you. And then obviously you're also able to join a community of like-minded people and you can share your results and goals with them as well. Shopping online is another big part that I want to talk about. Number 1, super simple. Never save your credit or bank details online in any shop. I on purpose create a barrier for myself where I have to get up, I have to find my wallet, I have to get my bank card, I have to type in all my details, and just having this 5 minutes between putting something into a basket and purchasing already makes me think about, do I even need it? Is it really that important that I have to get up from the couch now and find my wallet? Just having the little barrier can probably stop you from buying quite a lot of things. And then following up on that, I'd also say if you can avoid it, do not shop online. That is something I started quite a few years ago. I try not to purchase online if possible and rather go to the shop. Again, I'm creating a barrier for myself where I have to get up, I have to get ready, I have to get into the car or the bus, I have to go to the shop, and just these extra hoops I have to jump through to get and purchase the product that I want already makes me think of, ugh, is it really worth it? Do I really have to get up and get ready now to purchase a new t-shirt? And it's like, never mind, forget about it, or I'll do it another day, and then I kind of push it back and in the end probably don't buy it. And on top of that, it also avoids me purchasing things online that I then probably want to return. You avoid the risk of missing the return date. And the only time I probably do order online is when I've been to the store, I've tried and tested the product, and there's a better discount code online that I can use to buy it, or I don't have my size in the store. Next on my list is to use sales for your advantage. We all love a good sale and the feeling of purchasing things at a reduced price and thinking we've saved money, when in reality you probably spent your money on something that you didn't even need and you just bought because of a sale. And my trick with sales is that I have a note on my phone where I write down all of the things I would like to purchase throughout the year, and if it's not something I immediately need, I'll wait for the next sale to come up. Not only do I give myself more time to think about if I need those products, but then when the sale comes around, I still have this good feeling of I'm able to purchase something, but this time around it's not something I bought on a whim just because it was at a reduced price. But I am buying things that have been on my list, that I really wanted, that I really thought about. And this time I'm actually saving money because I would have bought them anyway, but this time around I just bought them at a reduced price. So over the years that really helped me to stop impulse buying over sale periods, and it does get much easier, so I'm not getting triggered by sales that much anymore. I'm still getting triggered by them. I see a good sale and I see a good price and I want to purchase it, but normally what I do again, I go to the store, I look at it first, see if I like it, and if I do like it and I really want to purchase it, then I do. But as I said, I try to create these hurdles for myself to make things slower and a longer process to actually purchase. Another huge point of not spending money is saving habits. So I personally have accounts with 2 banks. In one bank I have my everyday account where I also get my salary paid into, and the other bank is where I have all of my different savings accounts. I'm not going to go into too many details about the different savings accounts and how I have everything set up. I think that would be too much for this video. And the reason I have this set up is so I have my savings away from my everyday account, so I don't see them when I look at my day-to-day spendings. I don't even want to know what's in here in a way. Out of sight, out of mind. So I'm not spending that money. If you have a fixed amount that you want to save every month, let's say for an example $500, then as soon as you get your paycheck in, you take those $500 and put them straight into your savings account into this other bank, and you don't see it anymore. And then the leftover money in your everyday account is what you have for your bills, your groceries, or anything else you want to spend your money on. And if you have something left as soon as the next paycheck comes in, great, take that and put it into the other bank account as well. So in your everyday account, you literally only have the money that you're allowing yourself to spend, and everything else should be invested into accounts that generate you good interest. That is just a really top line way of doing it. Obviously, if you have a mortgage to pay or if you have other expenses to pay, you can adapt it to your needs. But just this concept of having savings that you do not want to touch in one bank and your everyday in another bank already helps to not see your savings and kind of forget about them and just like put it in every month, and slowly they start growing without you even thinking of spending it. Seasonality is the next point on my list. Not every month is the same, and it's really important to realize that, to not disencourage you when there are months where you can't save that much, because obviously there will be months where you go on holiday, or you're going to a friend's wedding, or you're planning your own wedding, or you're moving house, and moving a house is really expensive. So I think it's really important to factor in those bigger things in your life and realize that obviously in those months you're not going to be able to save that much. No one would expect that. So for example, if I know April and March are 2 months where there are big things coming up and I probably won't be able to save that much, and with that mindset I then already know, okay, then I need to save a little bit extra in January and February to kind of balance that out. So ideally, if you have the 12 months in front of you and know in these 4 months I will spend a lot of money, then make sure in those other months you save this little bit extra. Another tip I have for you is go grocery shopping with a shopping list. This might sound super simple, but I know a lot of people who do not go shopping with a shopping list, me included sometimes, especially once I moved out of my parents' place. I had actually no idea how to properly do grocery shopping, and I literally just went to the store and bought whatever I felt on the day. And then I went home, I had a full fridge of the most random things that I couldn't really use for a proper meal. Once I realized how much money I spent on food that actually didn't cook me a proper dinner, I then started to sit down once a week and actually think of all of the meals I want to eat throughout the week. Obviously there can be a little bit of wiggle room, but I really try to be as strict as possible with that and only buy the ingredients I need for those specific meals that I've written down onto my grocery list. Even if you want to buy snacks, that's fine to put onto the grocery list as well, but maybe check your pantry first and see what you already got. And on top of saving money, it also helps with food waste. And what I normally do is I go to the fridge and check what's in the fridge and how I can use any leftover food or ingredients to incorporate into the next week's dishes. Those were just a few of my tips and tricks that I use to reduce and minimize spend as much as possible. I have so many more things that I could talk about, but I think that would be too much for a single video. So if you want to see maybe a part 2 or a similar style video, then let me know down in the comments. One thing I wanted to mention here as well that I think is really important is it can be super difficult if you're someone that spends a lot of money and you all of a sudden want to drastically reduce it. When we go out and buy new things, our brain releases dopamines and endorphins, which make us feel really good. And that is also one of the main causes for impulse purchases. So to suddenly take this good positive feeling away from you can be very uncomfortable for some time. It can kind of feel like a withdrawal symptom. So try not to be too harsh on yourself because it can be quite a long process to make changes to your spending habits. I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring, and definitely let me know down in the comments below what you want to save for, what your goals are, and how you're achieving them. Do you have any tricks to save money? Obviously, there's so many things you can do to reduce spend, so I'd love to read about that. And otherwise, if you liked watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd be really happy if you would subscribe to my channel as well. And I hope I see you in my next video. Bye!